check, check. Anybody here? Not one. Oh, somebody's here. Who's here? I see one person here. I don't know why I can't. Why they don't allow me to see who's here. A list of names. Rat Rock, Bronco, how are you? Damien is here. Oh, Damien has missed. No, I think he came for the last one, maybe towards the end. Nice to see Damien. Let's all get acquainted. Rat Rock, for those who don't know, Rat Rock is Bronco from New Jersey. Damien, Long Gone Loser Rock Show is Damien from Melbourne. I think he's from Melbourne. Australia, that's for damn sure, but I think Melbourne. I am good. I am good. We're always good. Outwardly, maybe not inside. You know, it's only 2 minutes into the live stream, and I might have an interruption already. Randy, I should have known Randy would be here. Hello, Randy. Oh, cool. All right, Damon's here for a while. Randy. So we got Bronco. Uh, just a second. Okay. What's the societal thing to say? Thank you for being here. Is that it? I like your hair. Oh, I like your hair too. You look nice today. Oh, you look nice today too. It's my, I don't know if pleasure is the right word, but I enjoy doing these every once in a while. I don't want to do them too often. Maybe after every. I don't even set a time uh, distance between the two. Just whenever it's something you know, I did it after I went to Vietnam. Maybe I did it. I think I did it shortly after I came back from Turkey after these big trips. So there you go. Bronco, Rat Rock. Oh, let me click on this. Thailand series was like combining the Winds of War, the Thornbirds. I remember that. That was late 80s. That was Richard. What was that guy's name? He was the big star of the 80s. Richard something. Who was the star of the Thornbirds? Yeah, here's the interruption that I mentioned. Watch the door. You can speak.
Okay. Hello, everyone. The money?
I'm getting money delivered to me.
And that's it.
And a key.
Did you understand the key?
No.
You didn't understand?
This is for the porton.
Mm-hmm.
And where do I get the other one? I'll have to listen to your voice message again.
All right. I'll leave it hidden.
Make sure I know.
Mm-hmm.
Your plane leaves tomorrow and you're leaving tonight?
Plane leaves tomorrow very early in the morning.
All right, well, we'll talk at some point.
No, not very early, at 12.
All right. Okay. All right, see ya. Richard Chamberlain. That's who it is. That's who it is. Yeah, Richard Chamberlain. Whatever happened to that guy? That guy was like the biggest like miniseries TV star, and then I assume he died decades ago. Winds of War, I've never heard of, or I don't remember. How the West Was Won, of course, I know. Yeah, Thorn Birds. Patrick. Patrick is in Ireland. He's commented a few times. It's late here. Let me get to him first because it's late for him. Favorite Kiss song. It's so hard to pick one single one. I guess it changes. I have like a list of like contenders that could be the one. I think that I always say more than any others. That's my favorite Kiss song is Christine 16. When I was out with this the Kiss Archives guy from the Instagram page, when I was out with him in Bangkok, of course we were talking about Kiss. I said King of the Nighttime World is a favorite. I don't know if it's the one favorite, but it's one of them. What else? I mean, it's always going to be live versions. Nothing to Lose. I did a video of Alive last week. And I keep doing other videos. I did El Chopo. That was up first. I went hiking. That was up first. I'll talk about a few of my favorites there. On Alive, Parasite and She and Watching You. I Stole Your Lunch is one of them. Plaster Caster, maybe almost anything anything on Love Gun. Calling Dr. Love is a favorite. Yeah, nothing. I mean, I like some of their stuff after the original lineup, but I don't know if anything post original lineup would be amongst my favorites. Maybe Spit from Revenge. What are you looking for? You're in here 30 seconds. You lost the car key. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's at least some of my favorite Kiss songs. All right. Let me see who else. Richard Chamberlain died of AIDS. I didn't know he was gay. I assume he's gay. If they died of AIDS back then, I think that was the gay disease, as everybody of my age probably knows. Yeah. I guess I knew he was gay. Don't remember. I haven't heard that guy's name for 30 years, 40 years. I don't know. Let me see what else. You said your ex-wife took care of your animals when you were gone. That's who was just here because she's going tomorrow to I don't know where she's going, Italy or somewhere else, some other Asian city. I don't know. And so I have to go feed her. It's not her cat; it's our cat. We had this cat when we were married. We got that cat in 2013, and so she gave me her key to her house. She lives very close to me, about 1 kilometer, and I have to go feed. Not like I have to. It's my cat too, so I'm gonna go take care of the cat for the next like 3 weeks. I don't think that'll ever. I feel much more secure. Hello, Dallas. I feel much more secure about that since I got a couple of dogs. Towering Inferno, man, remember that? Towering Inferno. That was when they made those disaster movies, like in the 70s and 80s. No, yeah. Made for TV movie, I think Towering Inferno was. War Machine. I know that's a big favorite amongst Kiss fans. It's maybe my favorite on Creatures of the Night. It's not even close to being one of my favorite Kiss songs. I do like it though. Lick It Up. Great album. Easily my favorite non-original lineup album. Lick It Up. The song. I mean the album. The song, a little bit tired of it, but I do like Lick It Up, the song too. How popular people nowadays don't realize how popular were. I remember their TV show. Yeah, they were very, very popular. TV was very popular then. That was pretty much the only entertainment we had. Secretly Gay. Yeah, I that would make sense. Was he outed when he died? That seems such a strange thing to, to keep that secret now. I'm sure there are still many people, celebrities, and athletes, and whoever who are, but seems like such an old-fashioned concept to be in the closet, as they say, like Phil Leotardo. That he, I guess he died at peace. He cleansed himself. He outed himself. Good for him. Well, not that he died, but that he, I guess, got that off his chest. Did I ever get Kiss Ice Blocks popsicles? No, I didn't even know that existed. I'm not surprised, but I had no idea that there were Kiss popsicles. That's maybe one of the few. You know what? I don't know if the camera can pick it up. You know what I'm using to boost my microphone up? A Kiss. Ha! Okay, that's my. I'm pulling the curtain back. I've got my microphone propped up on my Kiss lunchbox, which is full of trinkets. Some Kiss and some not Kiss. What rat shirt did I get at El Chopo? Rat Rock is asking. I'll show you. I have a picture of it. Man, I think maybe I've talked about this before, but I take pictures of everything that I buy just because, you never know when, it's going to be gone at some point. You go, I wish I still had that. At least I can have pictures of it. So let me show you the rat shirt that I got. I love it. I think it's very cool. It's this is it. Let me zoom in a little bit. That. The mechanical rat. And I got it from the as I said, that guy had awesome shirts. And what's cool about his shirts, it's a small thing. I've said before, I don't care about the back of shirts because I don't see it, so I don't care if the back is blank. And yeah, Dallas says that's an old classic design. It is. I don't care about the back. Back of a shirt would never be make or break for me. I would never buy a shirt because that has a great back, and I would never not buy a shirt because that has a stupid back. But kind of a cool thing that this guy had, all the shirts that he has, they all have the logo, the band logo on the sleeve. I bought this. Damien will maybe appreciate this shirt that I bought. Look at this beauty. And it's also got the Fastway logo on the sleeve. And they do all have prints on the back too. Very, very colorful prints. And I also got that one. And I showed it in the video. There's the Scarface Torment and Fire. I'll get back to you, Randy, just a second. Oh, I would buy one if I saw those Kiss popsicles. Ireland is very strict on bootlegging. I saw a sign in Bangkok, a big sign somewhere on it was like a little police station on the road, and like tourist police maybe, and there's a big sign, and it said in English and maybe in Thai too. It said something like the sale of goods is not illegal goods, but the sale of goods on the streets is prohibited. Please do not engage with people selling things on the street. And I thought that's exactly like Mexico. Bad back of shirt can definitely break deal. Don't care. I don't care if the shirt has got a giant hairy penis on the back. I would still buy it. I would especially buy it. Don't care about the back of a shirt. Yes, it does. I'm building quite the Fastway shirt collection. I have shirts from the first 3 albums. Let me go back to Randy. Where do I want to travel next? I don't know. It's too early to plan for that. I want to go to Laos. And if I did, I would probably combine that with Hanoi. It won't be this year. These trips are really very, very hardship for me. I had to work between 53 and 67 hours a week for like 4 months to go on that trip. And thank you, Randy, for your contributions and donations. And it's a lot of work. I love them, but it really, really is a lot of work mentally and then physically taking these trips. Maybe Laos, another place and some places. I talk about this with my friend Eric, my hiking friend. That guy's been to, I think, 53 or 52, 55 countries. And he's been a lot more than me, and we talk about that, and we both say that we have countries that we would like to go to, and countries that we have no interest in going to, but don't exactly know why. And I would like to go to Ethiopia. I'm not sure why, but I would like to. I in Asia, yeah, Laos for sure. Laos is a strong possibility in another year, combined with Vietnam in the north, because I haven't been in the north of Vietnam, and Singapore. Don't care about Malaysia. I think I don't care about. I don't know about Thailand or Indonesia, but Laos would be cool, and Ethiopia. Nowhere in Europe. Um, Randy also says, any concerts coming up? No, I ran into a bunch of people I knew and friends I went to see Graveyard and Danko Jones. Story about Danko Jones, which I'll share maybe when there's more people, because it's pretty cool. It's kind of insignificant, but it's kind of cool too. And yeah, when you in the 80s, you saw your friends at concerts. Yeah, so are you going to this one? You going to this one? And I don't have anything on my concert docketed. No, I do. Sorry, I do. I'm going to see Dirty Sound Magnet on May 3rd. And then I think because Judas Priest is playing the next night, so I'll probably go to Judas Priest too. So those ones, that'll be May 3rd and May 4th. 30 Sound Magnet Saturday, May 3rd. I've already got my ticket for that. Judas Priest the next night. But man, it's expensive because that I'm going to have to spend 2 nights in a hotel, and adding that to the cost of not working for 2 days and the concert tickets, 2 nights in a hotel sucks, but ni modo, as they say. And also going back to this corrosive conformity, just announced the show here a couple days ago. That's not until September though. I'm sure I can't imagine I'll miss COC. Original Faster Pussycat shirt from the second album. It says Pussy Wet. Did I? No, I didn't have that one. I had one from the second album. I saw them open for Kiss in 1990 with Whitesnake and Slaughter. It was those 4 bands, and it was neon green. And I remember on the back, did it say "Wake the fuck up" or I have one now that's a reprint that I got from either AliExpress or eBay. Probably AliExpress. I think it says "Wake the fuck up," or maybe it was that one from 1990. Love Faster Pussycat. Love, love, love. Yeah. Trick or Treat. Yeah, some good songs, which is essentially a Fastway soundtrack. No. Yeah. I remember you told me about that opening for Danko Jones. Halford really struggles, but I don't think he's that bad now, is he? I remember some years ago he had problems, but I think he's okay now. Yeah, I don't really care about that. And I think the reason I'm seeing Priest is I am influencing or inspiring or motivating myself. I did all those Judas Priest albums over the last year or year and a half. And the last one I did, which was British Steel, was one of my most viewed videos ever. I don't know why. All the Judas Priest. Hey, Mike Pratt. All the Judas Priest fanboys came out to really do this to me, and how dare you, say the things I said about Judas Priest. So yes, and you never know these bands. You never know when it's going to be their last go round, and I feel that Judas Priest's time is near. Maybe. So I'll go see Judas Priest. I've only seen them once, and that was in 2004, I think. So I'm due to see Judas Priest one more time. I'm sure that'll be the last time. Even if they come back again in a couple of years, this will probably be the last time. And for those who don't know, Muscle Car is, well, the Long Gone Loser rock show is Damien, and Muscle Car is his band of the past. Now dissolved, I do believe. No, no, I won't live anywhere except Mexico or Canada. It's a schlep, man, to move to another country. Even to move to another city, even for me to move to another neighborhood. I hate moving. Moving is worse than having cancer. Um, no, I wouldn't live anywhere except not because I don't like those countries, but just at this point in my life, I made one massive life change to move to Mexico and would not do it again. I just can't imagine any circumstances that would lead to me living in another country. Um, Best concert you ever saw, Patrick, was Dio. I saw him on, I think it was the Sacred Heart tour with Megadeth opening. Megadeth and Sabotage. YouTube took down my Judas Priest video because it featured that news report. Which Judas Priest video of like going through your Judas Priest collection or something, or was it like a? It must have been, right, of you talking about them. And how did that happen? Did you get like a copyright strike from Judas Priest or from like the news channel or who had it taken down? That happened with me with Guns N' Roses too. Um, Man, I took a couple when Guns N' Roses came in 2016 when they did their first shows back. God, which was 9 years ago now, and they started in Mexico. And I took two videos or three. They played 2 nights. I took two videos. I think I can't remember. And they were up for years, and then 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years after, one of them got taken down. No notice, no chance to back it up, no chance to save it. And they gave me a strike, the first and only strike I've ever had in my channel. I had to go to YouTube copyright school and like answer a bunch of stupid questions to make sure, you know, that I don't do this again. Yeah, it's garbage. I don't know why they claimed that one, and the claim did come from from Guns N' Roses. I have no idea why they were upset. I think it was "It's So Easy," the opener. I don't know why they were upset with that one, and the other two were okay. Um, it's always nice to get out of Mexico, and always horrible when I come back. I probably can tell a few stories about that, including about an hour ago. I'll tell you what happened now. About an hour ago, it was at 6 o'clock my time. I started this live stream at 7 o'clock, so I went to eat. There's a store beside my house. I go to it every day, and sometimes multiple. That was at least the second time I went there. I went there to get some rice. They have prepared food. They have like rotisserie chicken and hot rice and potatoes and things like that. And I was going to get for my dinner a little serving of rice, an avocado, and a liter of agua de horchata to drink. And they had no rice, they had no avocados. I got the drink, I filled it up, I went to drink it, and it was warm. So of the three things I wanted, two of them they didn't have, and one of them they had, but in questionable condition. It's actually it's been in my fridge now for about an hour and 24 minutes. I'm waiting for it to get cold. Yeah, and also let me tell you more. I don't know if I mentioned this in the video when I came back, or if I did. I don't know if anybody saw it. But man, the bullshit starts with Mexico as soon as you come back. When I got to the airport, um, I got through customs. I have to say they've done a good job. Mexico City has the worst airport ever. I've been to, I don't know how many airports, 20, 25, 30 airports. I don't know how many. Mexico City is the worst. It does, they have improved it. The last couple of times I've gone through, it's been much, much better. But I got there when I got back after, what, I don't know how many, 20 something hours of travel, and went to buy the bus ticket to come from the airport back to my city, to Cuernavaca. Gave them my card. Yeah, you can't pay with card. Our terminal doesn't work. That's a big problem. People come from other countries and they maybe don't have the local currency, and just terrible that a big giant bus line that doesn't accept credit cards. And that's happened to me a couple times. And then I paid, it was 410 pesos I paid with 500 pesos, and she said, "Do you have 10 pesos?" And I didn't. I said, "No, I barely had 410." She gave me 90 pesos in coins. I had like 2 kilos of coins in my pocket, and it was all taped up too. Just a remarkably disorganized country. Well, it is fun. It's going to be fun on Wednesday because I'm going hiking and swimming again. But there's a lot of crap in Mexico. Just very, very basic stuff that Mexicans just can't get right. Sorry for any. And I'm not sorry. I mean, I think people who live here realize that too, especially if they've been out of the country. It's there's just such a lack of foresight or any thought to anything, and just problems, minor problems sometimes, but problems that probably shouldn't happen. Um, oh, I like this. My girlfriend and I played a drinking game with your videos. Everything you said, 11-7 or interesting text. You took a shot. I did fuck up 11-7 twice. Once was when I was buying this shirt. Actually, when I bought this shirt at the Chat to Chat weekend market. And I showed in the video, I said, "Oh, I'm going to buy that 7-Eleven shirt." And I didn't even realize it. And then I checked out, ah, shit. I said, I did fuck it up a couple other times and cut the video and went back and said, I mean, it only took a few seconds. And the other time I said 11-7 was, I mean, 7-Eleven. Now I'm getting confused. The other time I said 7-Eleven instead of 11-7 was, can't remember, but yeah, I did pretty good. And you know what I told Dallas is, are you still here, Dallas? Let me give me a sign if you're still here. Um, the day before, maybe it was when I was on the bus going to the airport on the way there. I told him, I think of the stupidest shit. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I do this. But I was texting with Dallas on the way to the airport, and I said that I was thinking about for that whole trip. Every time I said, "Okay, Dallas," I don't know if he remembers this. I said I was in the video, the entire video for 16 days, 17 days, I was going to call it Thailand. Thailand. But I said there's no way I could keep that up. I just couldn't do it. And once I blew it once, I wouldn't be able to go back. But and I don't know why I say 11-7. I mean, I know it's called 7-Eleven. There's no need for corrections. But why not 11-7? You could make the argument 11 is the word, and it's maybe to some people, if you're dyslexic, or maybe if you're wired differently, maybe the 11 is what your eyes see before the big 7. But yeah, and interesting texture. Does anybody know where that comes from? When I after everything I ate, I got sick of saying that, so I switched to these ingredients are very fresh and well prepared. Does anybody know what either of those are from? Interesting texture, or these ingredients are very fresh and well prepared? Anybody? And I've said those for years and years and years. Maybe not on video, but to my ex-wife and some friends. Yes, interesting extras from Seinfeld when Kramer's eating the hot dogs. This is a perfectly sane food he's with Lloyd Braun, and he that hot dog looks like it's been there since the silent era, and Lloyd Braun says, "Am I insane? Am I crazy, or does that hot dog look terrible?" And Kramer says, "There's it's a perfectly sane food, dude. Now prove it." And he goes to eat the hot dog that's all wrinkled, and he takes a bite and he's chewing it and he's struggling and he's almost choking, and he says, "Interesting texture." Yes, all right. So I'm surprised that Damien would know that. I wouldn't expect an Australian to know Seinfeld. And what about these ingredients are very fresh and well prepared? Anybody know that one? That's maybe more obscure. It's in the Seinfeld universe. As a bonus thing, what's the name of the theater? Or as Kramer calls it, theater. Anybody know? Trivia, Seinfeld trivia time. If my friend Kevin Montalban was here, he'd know it. It's called the, and then something. What is it? It's a man's name. Anybody? That's very surprising and impressive. I think nobody knows these ingredients. Go on Google and put in these ingredients are very fresh and well prepared, and I would imagine you will get an answer. Who cares? Yeah, Seinfeld is tops. Nothing is better than Seinfeld. Comedy, anyway. Yes, it is from Curb, and yes, the gum. Look at this. The foreigners. Everybody's a foreigner to me, unless you're in Mexico. Yeah, Patrick from Ireland. Yeah, the gum. It is the. It's just two guys sitting around chewing gum. Let's all sit around and have a chew. Yeah. Am I crazy or is that a lot of gum? That's a lot of gum. Curb. Yeah, it is from Curb. It's Bam Bam Funkhauser, who's played by Catherine O'Hara, and I just think that's like one of the funniest lines of the show. She's kind of like she has mental health issues, and she's eating something in a dinner, and instead of saying like a normal thing like, "Oh, this food is great," or so she's these ingredients are very fresh and well prepared. Like funniest line of the show, maybe. Love it. Uh that's as far as that I've known that since I was a kid. Yep, when they originally started, they were open 7 in the morning to 11 p.m. Yep. True, true, true. Maybe they should have changed the name years ago to 24/7. Doesn't have the same ring. And I think now it's owned by a Japanese company. It's obviously American, but I think a Japanese company bought it maybe 10 more years ago. But for some reason, I think it's they only opened in my city. We got 7-Eleven maybe 10 years ago. I was in 7-Eleven on Sunday morning in Mexico City. Do you have any Grey Poupon? That's from Wayne's World. I never really liked Wayne's World. Because to me it was like they were almost going into the metal world, but not quite. They were kind of like two almost metalheads. Didn't really like Wayne's World. But yeah, that's a famous line. Let me see. Oh, I missed this. Uh, oh, good, good. Yeah, I guess it is interesting to see another country. And really, thank you for everybody. And I don't know how many people here were watching it, but thank you. It's cool to see. And I said this when I went to Vietnam too, specifically for Damien, that it's just very cool to me that I can do something, and I kind of do the videos for myself, and especially when I'm traveling by myself, that the camera is my companion. I guess I want to make stupid comments and insignificant, mundane comments, and I have nobody to talk to. And also, I want to memory my trip, just like you used to carry, the big. Remember, in 1993, I went to New York for vacation, and I had one of those giant camcorders they had to carry on your. Remember, you put it up here, and you held it like a boom box. These big cameras, and the zoom was like this. You actually turned the lens was the zoom in and out, and I still have those tapes. I've always liked documenting things. So it's cool that people watch that. And as I said, I said in the first episode, it's not you know um, meant to be informative. It's not meant to be this is your guide to Thailand or Cambodia. Although I hope people did or could learn something from it. And it wasn't necessarily meant to be entertaining. That is for sure. But I enjoyed doing it, and I appreciate those who watched and who commented. Thank you, Mike, and anybody else. Dallas. And you know what? I just realized, and I've been going through them too. I watched one episode last night, 7, I think. My second day on Koh Samet Island, when I walked the whole island, and I realized there was a big chunk of it missing. I finished my breakfast. If anybody remembers, I went for the buffet breakfast while it was raining. And then it cut to me showing a dog. And I thought, man, I'm sure I took video in between there. And there was like 7 or 8 minutes missing. So I went back and I added the 7 minutes. I had to make a new episode. I couldn't add it to the existing episode. I have it as unlisted or private now. I don't know if I'll make it. That was cool because I did a little hike in kind of a jungle on the island and walked through the. I saw more of that. And yeah, so I don't know how I missed those 7 or 8 minutes. Um, Yeah, I don't, I watched a ton of those videos both for this trip and for Vietnam and to Istanbul, a much lesser extent because I had a guide when I was there. And they all make the same shit and the same titles. Cambodia, first impressions and 10 things that you have to do, 10 things that you should never do. I wish we'd known this before we came here. Watch this video before you come here. And it's all, I mean, I don't know. It's in some cases I like it, but they're all very, very, very samey. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, Damien. It's just me. I'm just showing that was my experience on my trip. Um, yeah, Thailand is really big. Thailand, Bangkok anyway. I think Bangkok doesn't really have like a central, like a skyline, but they have clusters of big skyscrapers. Yeah, Bangkok is big, very modern too, very clean. I'm sure I mentioned that. It's unbelievably clean. I was shocked at how clean it was. I'm sure there are ugly areas too, but I traveled quite a bit in Bangkok and I thought it was quite nice. Um, Randy's asking my opinion of Vinnie Vincent. Musically, I liked to loved the first two albums. Um, I don't know about now. Maybe they might seem outdated now. Um, Personally, he's a complete nut job. He's just a fucking nutcase. He promises box sets and takes people's money and promises guitars. Never does anything. He makes all these promises for appearances. He's going to be at this Kiss Expo or this whatever, and then he never goes. Weird, weird, weird guy. Vinnie Vincent is. I don't have any interest in anything he would do now. Um, but yeah, the first Vinnie Vincent album, I would do an episode of it if I had the physical. And I don't know. I'll ask you people if is it unacceptable to do episodes if I want to talk about this album if I'm not holding either the record or CD because I had both of those. I had 2,000 CDs. I don't have anywhere near that many now. Um, I would feel queer doing that. I feel like I have to have it, but I would like to do a Vinnie Vincent episode. Um, yeah, that was cool. That was in Koh Samet on the island. I got to my room, and there's a lot of cats in Thailand. A lot, Cambodia too. A lot, really, really a lot. And the one was kind of walking. The door from my hotel went directly outside, as opposed to in a hallway. And the cat was there, and I opened the door, and he was walking around. I didn't care. I didn't invite him in, but I also didn't care if he went in. And he went out, and it's kind of my first instinct to get him out. I thought, no, I don't care if he's in there. Yeah, he was there with me for hours. I actually went to bed. I turned off the lights after a couple of hours, and he was still there. I guess he loved that air conditioning. It must have been very nice for him. And then at some point when I was sleeping, he woke me up. If he was meowing or I felt him or sensed him jump down or something, and I let him out. But yeah, that was very nice to have that cat with me for half a night. It's that time of year. Yeah, that is a good one. That's on the second one, right? That time of year. No, it's on the first one. Is Boys Are Gonna Rock, Shoot You Full of Love, Animal, Baby O, um, Twisted, and All Systems Go. The second record is Naughty Naughty. Um, what else is on that second record? Don't remember. Um, Favorite souvenir from Thailand? Um, can't really answer that. I think I know what you're asking, Dallas. Uh, we'll drop it there. Um, I don't think she's kind of aloof, that dog. I think she missed me. I think the thing was because my ex-wife was coming every day, they did have human contact. So And also, maybe you like to think that the dogs are gonna go insane when they see it because they miss you so much. I'm sure she did miss me. I remember that night. Later, she did. She got very, very excited, and she's very funny when she gets excited. She shows her teeth. She looks extremely aggressive and like she's gonna attack, but she can't control herself. She shows her teeth and she shakes her head and she starts crying and crying when she gets happy or excited. Um, I saw that. Yeah, from San Antonio. Yes. That's probably I wouldn't buy it. I'm not interested in buying those. But yeah, it'd be cool because that Asylum era, as I'm sure Mike Pratt knows, and that era or that tour is not. There's like no video from it, at least not professional. I think a couple of years ago, Sam Loomis or maybe somebody else, I can't remember, put something out that I think it had no sound though. Somebody maybe overdubbed some sound. But yeah, the Asylum tour is kind of a mystery. So I think it's cool that they're doing that one. And also for me, that was the first time I saw Kiss was on that tour. As I mentioned in the El Chopo video, because I showed the King Cobra Thrill of a Lifetime album, and I said I saw them open for Kiss on that tour, which was Asylum. Um, Oh, here's a question. Hello, Henry. Why say 11-7? I talked about that, I guess, a couple of minutes before you came, and I'll say it again. I don't know why. It's just there. And I've done this for years and years. Sometimes I say things wrong, sometimes intentionally, sometimes mistakenly, and sometimes just misspeaking. And just like there's a supermarket here called Superama, and I sometimes call it Rama of Super. I don't know. It's stupid. Really, really. I just I don't know. But no real reason. Just being different. I guess 11-7. Why? Like I said earlier, why not 11-7? The word 11 is just as prominent. Some people would be attracted um, to the word, to letters more than numbers. So I do know that it is called 7-Eleven. I know, but I don't know. It's stupid. No reason. I guess that's all I can say. Um, yeah, that was cool to meet up with him. I had no idea, and I don't know if anybody here follows that guy, Kiss Archives on Instagram. Um, I had no idea that he lived in Thailand. He's well, I mean he runs the Kiss page. He doesn't. It's nothing. He's never posted a picture of himself. Doesn't talk about himself. Just like me. And I've seen him like say things like, "Yeah, I saw Kiss on this tour in Sweden when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, so I assumed he was Swedish." But then I've also seen him typing in Spanish when people speak to him in Spanish. So I don't thought maybe he's Spanish and he's using Google Translate or whatever. And yeah, after I'd been there for a couple days and posted some pictures of it, he sent me a message and he said, "Hey, how long are you in Bangkok?" And I said, "Oh, until whatever." And I said, "Why do you ask?" And he said, "Because I live here." So yeah, we got together. Yeah, that was cool. Yep. Was there footage from Asylum on Kissology? I don't remember. That last the volume 3 Kissology, I did buy it. I had they're all over right here. I can see them from here. I don't think so. I think Asylum footage is very, very rare. Um, it's possible, but I don't remember. Uh, yeah, Love Kills on All System Go. I didn't like that song. Yeah, what else is on All Systems Go? Naughty, naughty. I want a naughty, 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 naughty love. Um, that time of year. And I like that album. Why can't I think of any of the song titles? Yeah. Um, I would do an episode of Vinnie Vincent, either of them, the first one or All Systems Go if I had a copy of it. Uh, yes, I got lucky. I did get lucky. There was no rain. I didn't have any. I didn't get sick. I wasn't sitting on the toilet. Um, I did, all the things I have on my list that I wanted to do. So you're right, Randy. I did get lucky in Thailand. Henry, I hope my answer satisfied you, Henry. Um, Oh, Ashes to Ashes. That's the first song, right? Ashes to Ashes is the opening song from All Systems Go. How many records do I have now? This I've got. I just bought a second one of those stands recently, and I've still got the ones that I still have to do are over here in front of me. I don't know how many it is now. I don't know if it's maybe somewhere around 200, which I think is around how many I had originally, like from 1976 or whatever until I stopped buying records in 1989. I'm pretty much over it. I'll still buy them occasionally, like I did in Bangkok if I see them. Um, but I'm not like really actively looking for records. Am I thinking about upgrading your system? No, I don't. I don't. To be honest, I don't listen to them enough to justify anything better than what I have. And I don't know if I've talked about this in my videos, but I've said it on social media. Um, it's more records for me. It's more about the nostalgia than anything. It's definitely not for sound quality. It's not. It's nice to lie down on my bed because the cable from my headphones reaches to my record player, and lying there and looking at the record and listening to it straight through with no interruptions. Um, yeah. So no, I can't justify spending any more money on a better system. Um, Have I listened to records I bought on my trip? The actual physical records, no, because I mean, one of them was I bought three. Kiss Alive, which I did a video. By the way, Mike Pratt, spoiler alert, the one that I mentioned that was going to be up on Sunday, that was not. That was going to be Kiss Alive. That wasn't up because I hadn't planned on going to El Chopo. If I hadn't gone to El Chopo, the Kiss Alive video would have been up. So that will be up because I also have another video ready to go tomorrow, and then I'm going hiking on Wednesday, so I'll have another video. No, I have the Danko Jones Graveyard bootleg merch video. I have Danko Jones and Graveyard concerts. I mean, videos, one song from each. I'll be hiking on Wednesday, so I'll videos. So I don't know when that Kiss Alive. So I did Kiss Alive. I did the first Y&T record today or a couple of hours ago. That'll be up next week sometime maybe. So I listen to them digitally, but the actual physical records, no, the ones that Wings, Paul McCartney, Venus and Mars. So the physical records, no, I haven't listened to them yet, but I've listened to them digitally. You're not far off. Yeah, I don't want to get into this, and I mentioned this in the when I did the Kiss Alive. I want to talk about this album last week. And maybe I mentioned the video. I did mention. I showed in the video. They also had Rock and Roll Over, the gatefold Japanese version, also with the Japanese insert, and Dress to Kill and Love Gun, and they were decent price anyway. They were around 18, $20 Canadian, or I mean US, something like that. And I thought about buying them, but I thought, no, I'm gonna, if I do that, then I'm gonna be searching the globe for, to fill in the gaps. I'm gonna have to get the solo albums from Japan, and I'm gonna have to get the first album from Japan. And I just don't want to open that floodgate. So I'll stick with the live, and that's it. So they say. Um, let's talk about Warren DeMartini. Oh man, I would love to see Warren DeMartini and Stephen Pearcy play here. Even before Warren DeMartini was back into the fold, I think is what they say. I've told Dallas for a long time I'd love to see Pearcy come here, and now even more with Warren DeMartini. Can't imagine it'll happen in Mexico, and they're playing in Niagara Falls, which is just down the road from where I'm from in Canada, and I guess I'll miss it. Oh, Patrick must be a newcomer if he's asking this question, but that's a fair question. What got me into rock and metal? Well, two things. Well, two different answers here. Kiss Alive. I got that for Christmas in 1976, and so I listened to Kiss from 76, 77, 78, 79. And then the first bands that I remember getting into after that were I had Paranoid and Back in Black. And then I guess a short time after that, Diarrhea of a Madman and Fair Warning. And those are like first really four records that I got. or well, after Kiss. Back in Black. What did I say? Diary of a Madman, Fair Warning, and Paranoid. And those are still amongst my favorites for sure. And first concert was Ozzy and Rat, as we're talking about Rat. Good timing. Ozzy and Rat, April 25th, 1984, in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens. 41 years ago, coming up next month. No, didn't miss it. It'll be maybe, let me see. I'll put that Graveyard Danko Jones merch tour up tomorrow, Tuesday. Hiking video will be up Thursday. Kiss Alive should be up not Sunday or Tuesday. I typically put videos up Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I'm not married to that schedule, but yeah, Kiss Alive will be up this Sunday or next Tuesday, I think. Yeah, but I recorded it Monday last week. I recorded it a week ago. Is it M&M's or O. Henry? Two different companies. M&M's is what's the name of the company that owns M&M's? FM? Is it EFFEM? Is that the name of the company that owns M&M's? O. Henry is a different company, no? O. Henry is not Cadbury. Who owns the O. Henry? I mean, what company owns O. Henry? But yeah, I know he's married to his wife. Is a she's like a what another Seinfeld thing? The heiress to the O. Henry candy bar fortune, the broad Sue Ellen Mishke. No, hold on. Let me get back to that, Randy. M&M. No. There's a company that owns M&M is the product, but there's a company that owns M&M, or maybe it's different in different countries. I'm going to check here. I think the name of the company is FM. Lowercase M&Ms, by the way. Or is it Mars? Is Mars the company? Well, I could just Google and say, why isn't anybody else doing this? Yeah, Mars. Mars owns M&Ms. That's what I thought. But it doesn't. It's so confusing. Let me check. You have all these companies and then parent companies, and who owns M&Ms? Oh, it's giving me Eminem, the rapper. Who owns? Oh, it is Mars. Yeah, Mars Incorporated. Okay. And who owns O. Henry? Who owns O. Henry? Yes, it's Hershey in Canada. I knew that. I forgot. In the United States, it's Ferrero. I'm surprised. And I'll give you some chocolate trivia. Did you know that in the United States, I'm sure Dallas knows this. I don't know if any of you myopic Americans know this, but you call them candy bars, M&Ms and Twix, and those you call them candy bars, and in Canada we call them chocolate bars. And I think that's because in the United States you have lower quality standards. Like for example, in order to be called how does it work? It has to be like something like a certain percentage of cocoa in order for it to be called chocolate. And your chocolate does not meet that standards. There's not a high enough percentage of cocoa in it, so they're not allowed to call it chocolate bars or chocolate. It would be like chocolate flavored, something like that. But British chocolate is actual chocolate, and Canada is. I think it's something like that. All right, let me go back to Randy. Do I like Canadian band Triumph? I don't dislike them. I never get in them. I've never bought a Triumph album in my life. I've never seen them live. They're one of the bands, I've talked about this in some other videos that I generally didn't like a lot of Canadian music when I was a teenager because it was forced down my throat. And what did they have? Fight the Good Fight. I did love Follow Your Heart. Great. Oh man, that song was fucking awesome. From the Thunder 7 album. Fight the Good Fight. Um, Lay It on the Line. God, I heard all these songs on the radio. What else? What else did Triumph have? Dallas, help me out here. Triumph. I did meet Gil Moore once at a car race or monster truck thing or something. Um, Eat More. Uh, uh, Terrible. I don't think any Americans know what Eat More is. It's the worst candy bar ever. Maybe that or uh, Big Turk. I think Dallas likes that one too. Spellbound, that was another one. Yeah. Saga, that's funny. Somebody just asked me the other day if I like Saga. Who asked me if I like Saga? Oh, I was it Fabian when we were in Bangkok? Somebody asked me if I like Saga. I think it was him. No, I never liked them. That wind him up, he can't stop, he keeps on going round the clock. And what else did Saga have? Tonight we're on the loose. Doo, doo, doo. I would appreciate them now more, but no, I never get into Saga. I did see a Saga album on at El Chopo on the weekend. I don't think I showed it in the video. The album with the guy like the Barnum Bailey circus guy. He's holding a ring of fire, and the tiger or lion is jumping through it. Whatever album that is, I did see that one at El Chopo. It was probably 6,000 pesos. Um, Yeah, I never get into Triumph either. Big Turk. I don't know, man. I haven't had a Big Turk in decades. I maybe I would like it more now than I did back then. But yeah, Big Turk and Eat More. Objectively, Big Turk and Eat More are not popular chocolate bars. Most people don't like them as far as chocolate goes. I don't think I've ever seen anybody, and I pay attention to this, buying one of those chocolate bars. Slick Toxic. Man, I did have Doing the Nasty. As far as I know, Slick Toxic only had one record, Doing the Nasty. I had that, never got into it. Same with the first Sven Gali album, although I loved the second Sven Gali album. Never got into the first one, Under the Influence. But Slick Toxic, man, a hell of a time, and White Lies About Black Truth. Love those songs. I still listen to those pretty regularly. Can't get enough of those songs. And you know, the singer, Nick Walsh, he's a real metal fan, even though Slick Toxie was borderline, hair metal, kind of in the Skid Row vein, not quite hair metal. Um, but Nick Walsh was a huge metal fan, and so was who else? Somebody else, Sebastian Bach. He wasn't in the heaviest band, but he's a real metalhead. Um, okay. It is Svengali. I did know that. That was just I think about a year or two ago that Svengali did. Spellbound. Yeah, I do remember that. Um, you can bring me anything. Like I said, maybe I would like it now. That and Big Turk, man. I feel like I would like, and I don't know why I don't like Eat More. It's peanuts and chocolate. Although that chocolate, it's not chocolate. It's not that weird chewy. You know what it looks like? I'll show you exactly what it looks like. I've got a souvenir from Cambodia here. This is exactly what Eat More looks like, and this looks like a little brick of hash. You know what this is? Can anybody guess what this is? It's wrapped in plastic, and I'll open it and I'll eat it on camera. We'll see if anybody can guess. I gave Eric a couple of these when we went hiking last week. He didn't know what it was visually, and then when he ate it, he still didn't know what it was. And it's something that we eat every day, just not in this form. Let's see if anybody can identify. This is like a mini Eat More. Maybe it looks black. It's actually very dark brown. Yeah, Eat More does have molasses in it. Um, Anybody know what this is? Not black hashish. Interesting texture. No, never liked Big House. Not at all. All right. Here's the mystery food. This is what it is. No, licorice is a good guess, though. It does look like licorice, and it is kind of a similar texture. It is quite chewy, but it's banana candy. And I don't know what else is in it. That's all the label says. There's no ingredients, nothing else. This is like a artisan candy. Just they sell it on the side of the road. Mm, it's pretty good, but it really doesn't taste like banana. I love licorice. Sticks in your teeth like licorice. There seems to be a lull. Should I tell my Danko Jones story now from Saturday night? Which sounds very hyperbolic to say that. I don't know if people are still paying attention. It says 9 people here. Who's here? Oh, it's late on in Ireland. Thank you, Patrick, for tuning in for the first time. Top of the morning to you. Thank you for coming, and I hope you find something of value on my channel at some point. Thank you, Patrick. Wind him up, he can't stop, he keeps on going round the clock is winding his Saga. You know what I remember about Saga? I remember reading in some magazine, it was probably Cream magazine. Somebody, and this was like 40 years ago, they said Saga is the worst name ever for a band. They said it sounds like a snake fart. The sound that a snake fart would make would be Saga. I always remembered that. Every time with my friend Pete, whenever we heard Saga on the radio, I always said snake fart. Did I get weird looks giving out Mexican candy? No, because I was not in the United States or Canada, where people get upset about things like that. No, no, everybody was very open to it. Yeah, I can imagine doing that in the United States or Canada. God, you get a visit from the police so quick. Ah, Jose is here from New York. Hello, Jose. Jose had lots of good comments on my video. I appreciate that. What would happen going back to this, Bronco, or anybody, any Americans or Canadians who want to answer this? If anybody saw what Bronco was talking about, I took 6 bags of Mexican candy with me because it's unique, it's different, and it's spicy. And so I took 6 bags and I gave it out to people, like in markets when I bought something from someone, I would give them some. I gave some to the girl who worked at the landmine museum. I gave some to some kids from France, some kids from Cambodia who lived on the island in Thailand, in Koh Samet. And yeah, I just went up and I said, "Hey, kids, do you want some candy?" Reach into my pocket and grab it with both hands. Um, but no, yeah, isn't it true though? If you did that in the U.S. or Canada, like there would be shit would go down, right? In at least in some case, some Karen type person would call the authorities. If you see something suspicious, report it. Oh my God, Mike Pratt just made the briefest of cameos. I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for coming as always, and watch for Kiss Alive sometime in the next week or so. Thank you. No, yeah, I'm sure some people wouldn't mind, but overall, I think that would be very, very frowned upon. At best, frowned upon. My limousine is awaiting, and I see you coming my way. Hey, hey, hey! I'm sitting by the window, and you ask me which hotel I'm staying. I'll make my reservation between the hours of 10 and 2. How do you do? You've got the time to remember. I've got a stiff proposition. Yeah, there's nothing else I'd rather do. So you lift your dress, you want to impress. There's one thing I've got to confess. Love him and leave him. Sorry for that. Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating with the police, although I'm sure somebody would. If I gave enough candy out, there would be somebody who would alert the authorities in some way. Um, but yeah, I would be given the stink eye or the cock eye or something. Um, yes, I just mentioned, Jose, before you came, that I was just in 7-Eleven in Mexico City on Sunday morning. I saw Graveyard and Danko Jones on Saturday night, stayed overnight, and when I came back on Sunday morning, I went in 7-Eleven, didn't buy anything. Um, and there are a few in my city. I think the first one opened in my city less than 10 years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. Relatively new in Mexico, at least in my city. Now I've got Love 'Em and Leave 'Em in my head. So I give you my number. You say you will see me tonight. You just have to remember, check with me if it's all right. You want to sit in my driver's seat. If you do, it's all right with me. You've got the time to remember. No, I think I just blew it. Yeah. Are we dying already after an hour? No, no West Coast people here. Oh no, Randy is on the West Coast. Are you still here, Randy? Um, whoops. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Plans? No, maybe it's even premature to say that I'm definitely not planning it. I'm maybe thinking of it. Um, there are a few places that I'm thinking of. It definitely won't be in 2025. My travel year is finished for this year, at least as far as planes go. Um, it could be Hanoi, Vietnam, and if that's the case, I would also go to Laos. Um, and I mentioned earlier, I would like to go to, without knowing too much about it, I would like to go to Ethiopia. But that more than Thailand, that more than Hanoi and Laos would require more planning and is maybe not as practical. But yeah, yeah. Or it could be. I mean, it could be a little bit closer. I mean, depending on how much it is. I mean, it could be somewhere closer. It could be Colombia, El Salvador, or Guatemala. Those are obviously much closer. Um, we'll see. It definitely won't be Europe. That's for sure. By the way, I've got this. This is my remember fidget spinners. Anybody remember those 10 years ago or something. This is my personal fidget spinner. I don't know if I don't think I showed this in the video. I got this at a casino when I was at the border, crossing from Cambodia back into Thailand. There was, I think there's like 10 casinos at the border there. It's a tiny, tiny town. There's like 80 people who live there, but there's about 10 casinos. All the Thai people come because casinos are not allowed in Thailand, but they are allowed in Cambodia. And so all the degenerate Thai gamblers take that 5.5 hour train ride that I took, and they go to casinos. So I went in the into the casino and changed because they had cool chips, and I changed the 25 baht. This is 25 baht, not $25. 25 baht is around in US dollars. That's less than $1, I think. I love these casino chips. I used to have a decent collection of them when I used to go to Las Vegas and actually play blackjack and roulette. But yeah, kind of cool to have that casino chip. Not appealing to me, Eastern Europe. What's that? Slovakia, Slovenia, Bulgaria, Montenegro, Romania. Did I say that? Hungary. If I went, I'm sure I would like it. I would go if I hope I never get to the point where I'm one of these people that go, yeah, I went to to this country on the other side of the world. Oh yeah, did you like it? No, not really. I hope I never get to that point. If I do, that means I'm traveling too much. If I did go to those places, I'm sure I would love it, but not on my list. Japan is very, very high on my list, but realistically probably too expensive. Cambodia was unbelievably cheap, Thailand, and I know people will say that Japan is not as expensive as I think it is. It's way more. I mean, the ticket is way more. Um, but yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Very different than Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. China is appealing to me too. I was talking about this with Dallas sometime, maybe a month ago. I think before I went on this trip, China. It's so vague to say I want to go to China because it's a massive country and it's, so many places. But without looking into it too much, I would love to go to China. Korea, not. I don't know why, but Korea is not appealing. Uh, Ever into strapping young lad? Never. I know it's Devin Townsend, but never got into them. Never cared about strapping lung. Why can't I say that? Strapping. Maybe that's my new thing. I should say strapping lung yad. Yeah, I was never into strapping young lad. Um, yeah, that's what I don't like about Japan. I like third world. Um, I guess I've always known this, but this was very clear to me when I was walking through the uh, the um, the rural area of Siem Reap in Cambodia on the way to the War Museum. I think it's for me, it's far more interesting to see how poor people live than seeing how rich people live. I know there's more to it than that. Um, but I think houses on stilts is just it's not that the houses on stilts are cool to look at, but I just think if you're in a place that has houses on stilts, there's probably more interesting things to do in a place like that than in Dubai, for example. I don't want to go to Dubai, Singapore, or yeah, but Japan I think would be cool. And that this banana candy that I ate, it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Also, maybe because I'm really thirsty and it's hot anyway, and very dry too. I should get a drink. Um, No, let me clear that up. Are you talking about Bronco? Because what I said about in Angkor Wat that there were so many people, um, and did it just put me in a bad mood? Is that what you're referring to when you talk about the number of people? I'll assume that's what Broncos is referring to. If anybody doesn't know, I went to when I went to Angkor Wat, I for other reasons too. It just really put me in a bad mood how crowded it was. Um, but that's very different. Remember, I live in or near Mexico City, and I go there regularly. And Mexico City is one of the biggest cities in the world. I think in the top 4 or 5. Um, and okay, so that is what Rat Rock is talking about. No, and I've gone to El Chopo, and it's crowded, and that doesn't bother me. Angkor Wat bothered me, as I said in the video. Also, one because I had such bullshit problems that day, and but just it's all tourists. And like, I mean, Bangkok is crowded and Mexico City is crowded. That doesn't bother me. Um, but just, everybody they're all tourists and they're all commenting on everything and look at this and look at this and take my picture. And I know I'm one of them too. Um, and everybody was complaining about the heat and the tour guides are, directing everybody. And yeah, that got on my nerves. But the number of people in Japan or in Tokyo, no, that doesn't bother me because at least Japanese people are quiet too. And as I mentioned, I think many times in the videos, Thai people are exactly how I've always imagined Japanese people to be. Very quiet, courteous, kind, thoughtful, considerate. Um, yeah. Um, Yeah, that is true. That's in, you know, I guess the most organized country in the world. I guess Japan and Germany. If anybody saw the brief, I actually showed a toilet in my video in the very first episode. Man, that toilet had all these controls on it. It had a volume control on the toilet. I don't know what the volume is controlling. It had some kind of mist or scent that you could put in. Yeah, some pretty wild stuff in Japan. I think China is getting like that too. China's some wacky stuff too. Um, give me 18 seconds. I want to go get a drink. Is that true? Or are you ribbing me? And what exactly is the volume controlling? Is it music or is it sounds? Wow. Yeah, they're very sanitary there. Uh, it's still not nearly as cold as I like. Um, Oh, hey Chris, hold on. Give me another few seconds. Let me go put this back in the fridge. It's got to be much colder. Hello, Chris. Yeah, I did know that. I saw that he put that video out. I think just a few days before I left. He was there in December. I did say that was cool. Imagine, and he was in like like rural. They showed his map of where he cycled. He cycled through Thailand, hundreds and hundreds and maybe more of kilometers, and through countryside. Yeah, imagine being in Thailand and you come across David Lee Roth. And I was talking about this with Dallas. Does anybody remember David Lee Roth's Jungle Studs? Anybody remember that? His Jungle Studs? It was a group of, he started this like in the 80s. It was him and a bunch of his friends. And when Van Halen was between tours or not recording, he and his friends would go to the jungles in, I don't know, South America, and he never really publicized it. He's, for such a outgoing guy, he's actually fairly private. And yeah, he used to take these jungle trips. So he's always done stuff like that. But I did see that video and it was very cool. Good timing because I saw it just like if it was a week or two before I left. That was pretty cool. Um, yes, 4 copies now. I have my original one that I got in 1976. Still have it. I have an American one that I got brand new. I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, 5 years ago, I think. I have a Mexican edition with the songs all in song titles printed in Spanish, and and now this Japanese edition. So yes, 4. I don't know if I saw more from other countries. The reason it's not like I want them from all these countries, but the Japanese one was really cool. If it has something unique about it, like the Mexican one has the as I said, the song titles printed in Spanish. Um, if I see one from, I don't know, France, and it has like a French insert or something, I guess I would get it. But I don't want to just start collecting them from a bunch of different countries. But we'll see. Um, it his book was Crazy from the Heat. Probably, I'm sure it was in there. I don't remember. I remember him talking about that in the 80s, long before his book came out. But I'm sure, and I did read his book, Crazy from the Heat, but I don't remember that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's in there. And by the way, going back to what this was, no, he's not in Thailand. He was, as far as I know. I know that the video that I did um, was from December. I don't think he's still there now. The video came out in maybe late January or early February, and it was from the trip in December. First time in Puerto Vallarta or first time in Mexico? I assume first time in. Oh no, yeah, of course, Puerto Vallarta. That was also my first time. I went to Puerto Vallarta in 1992, August 1992. That was my first ever trip to Mexico. I was in Mexico when the Blue Jays traded for David Cohn, and then won the World Series later that year. And Hurricane Andrew, if anybody remembers Hurricane Andrew in Florida, I was in Puerto Vallarta at that time. What else? Who's here? Check in time. Is Instagram the only way to contact you? It depends. If anybody asks for my email, I can give it to them. But I just think putting it publicly, then it gets out there, and then bots can get it or whatever. If you want to contact me, Bronco, about something privately, yeah, at least at first Instagram. If it's something that requires email or anything else, you can get it there. And if you don't know it, it's Dan Bowski, the name of this channel. Dan Bowski Mexico is my name on Instagram. And actually, I'll tell you if you want to email. I don't know what it is you want to contact me about, Bronco, but it's my email. It's Gmail, and I don't know if I should say it because I don't know if bots pick this up. No, maybe I better not say it. Anyway, yeah, you can contact me on Dan at Dan Bowski Mexico on Instagram. Um, yeah, I enjoyed Puerto Vallarta, but that was 32 years ago. I'm sure it's very, very different now. Versailles, no, wrong country. That's French, France. Uh, yeah, I saw the warning open for, was it Foo Fighters? I don't know how they got so popular. Good for them, I guess, but I just don't get the warning. Yeah, I won't say it. No, I don't worry about stuff like that. Like I said, I met this guy in Bangkok. I'm generally, and I hope I don't come across as being naive. I'm generally pretty trustworthy. No, trusting and trustworthy. Um, I've actually met. I know I'm getting a little bit off topic here. I've met many Dallas. I've met Dallas. That's here in the chat. He contacted me on Instagram. What was it, about 3 years ago, and he said, "Yeah, I'm Canadian. And I watch your channel, and I want." He asked me some questions about Mexico, and I didn't know he knew me that I was a metal fan, but I didn't know. I thought he was just a guy who wanted advice about Mexico, and it turns out that we like a lot of the same music, including Rat. Dallas is a big Rat fan, just like me. Um, I met my wife online, my ex-wife now. Um, yeah, no, I don't worry about stuff like that. Maybe that'll be the death of me one day. Nah, nah. Oh, I have some activity going on here. Look at this. My priority is you people. Rosita can wait. Unless nobody's going to say anything, then maybe I'll start talking to Rosita. I guess I don't know how to answer that. I guess it's just like saying, how are Mexicans? It's weird. I mean, I people are weird, man. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Tinder. I'm relatively new to it. And I just don't understand some things. People that put up in their profile that put pictures of sandwiches and their cats and their dogs and the Eiffel Tower, and what are people doing putting shit like that? Um, and some people are very specific. I've seen women put things like, if all of your profile pictures are you wearing sunglasses, then I'm not interested in you, and all mine are wearing sunglasses because it's sunshine 350 days a year where I live. I don't know if these women think that men are hiding something behind sunglasses. What are some other weird things? And I don't know if it's I'm sure it's not exclusive to Mexico, but oh, and I don't understand, and maybe I read too much into this. Maybe people are too literal. When where you can put like what you want on Tinder, like short term, long term, new friends, um, still figuring out stuff like that. I understand when 'cause I've seen this a lot when women put short term. What yeah, women are big on eyes, I guess. I don't know if yeah, like I said, I guess they think we're hiding something. or eyes if there are the window to the soul, bullshit like that. I don't know. But the sunglasses are not to look cool. It's because, like I said, I live in a place that's fucking sunny all the time. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So that they put what if somebody on Tinder says they're looking for short term, what does that mean? What do you think it means? I mean, long term is, yeah, maybe you hope you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or maybe even get married. Um, I don't know, but I see short term, and then they put something like and then when they actually write this out, I'm not interested in one night stands, or your apartment is not a date, things like that. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I get a lot of mixed um, mixed signals. I don't know. There's a lot of those here. I've stayed in actually the hotel that I stayed at on Saturday night was one of those hotels. There's nothing wrong with those hotels. It's a great cheap place to stay for the night, and it was just me. What is El Chocolate? Am I missing a reference here? Oh, oh, I guess that was an autocorrect. I tried that. Oh, you know what? Does anybody remember? Yeah, it was in the last live stream. This was what, October or November? Oh, I think it was in, I don't know when it was, October, November. Does anybody remember? Does anybody? Yeah, El Chocolate sounds like a pretty cool place too. Does anybody remember that girl that was in the chat? Her name was it Monica? Um, Andrea? Something that ended with an A. And I talked about this a little bit when I went to El Chopo a couple of months ago in December. I talked about that. Yeah, that turned out to be a weird situation too with her. Erica, that was her. Yeah, was it Erica? I think it was Erica. Um, yeah, that was kind of weird too. I wondered if El Chocolate take her to El Chocolate. I wonder if that was like the Hershey Highway or something. I thought maybe I was missing something. Yeah, the mall lady. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. Wanted to go to a mall instead of El Chopo. That's not the way to my heart or anywhere else. Still hot here. It's 8:30, 8:34, and I'm still pretty warm. Oh, should I tell the Danko Jones story? I've teased that a couple of times. Um, Maybe I shouldn't say it's the Danko Jones story. That makes it sound far more interesting than it probably is. So I saw Danko Jones. Well, a few things about that. One Danko Jones and then Graveyard. Um, so I saw them on Saturday, and I was wearing a Sacrifice T-shirt. If anybody knows Sacrifice, other than Dallas, um, they were or are a great old thrash band from the '80s in Canada. You know, they had Reanimation, and well, Reanimation was a song, which was from the album Forward Determination, which was their second album, and Torment and Fire. So I was wearing a Sacrifice shirt, and they're from Scarborough, which is a part of Toronto, which is where I'm from, and where I think Danko Jones. Yeah, the new Sacrifice album, unbelievable, man. It sounds, I mean, it easily could be the follow-up to, a 19, Torment and Fire or For Determination. Incredible how great that album is. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna wear a Sacrifice shirt because I know Danko is he's a big Sacrifice fan. Oh, Catalina. Who is Catalina? Hello. We can get back to Danko Jones. I believe Catalina is new in this world for me. Catalina Gomez. Let me open Instagram and Facebook and everything else. No, I'm just kidding. No, not really. I'll do it later. Hello, Catalina. ¿Qué tal? ¿Eres mexicana? Um, I will get to this too, but I've got a couple of other things on the stove. I've got Catalina is distracting me from everything, and well, let me get to back. Let me get back to Danko Jones. So he is from Toronto. I'm from Toronto. Sacrifices Toronto. So I thought, let's have a big bowl of Toronto soup, and I'll wear a Sacrifice shirt, and he'll probably see it because I knew I was going to be in the front row, and I was. And so maybe I don't know, towards the end of his set, he finished the song and he went to the mic and he said, "There's a gentleman in the front row who is wearing a sacrifice. There's a gentleman in the front row and he's been there all night and he's wearing a Sacrifice shirt and he was pointing at me, and then everybody in there is looking at me." And he said, and then he asked me. He said, "Was that a strategic move on your part?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm from Scarborough." And he said, "You're from Scarborough?" I said, "Yeah." This is all from the stage on the mic, him, not me. And so then he started talking to the crowd. He said something like, if anybody doesn't know, this guy's wearing a Sacrifice shirt. He's from Scarborough. I'm from Scarborough. Sacrifice is from Scarborough. They're a great band. And he said it's really cool for me to see a Sacrifice shirt here in Mexico. And he said it reminds me of my youth. And he said I grew up with Sacrifice. I said, "Yeah, me too." And he said, "Oh, you grew up with them too?" And I said, "Yeah." So that was it. That was kind of cool. I'm not surprised that he saw it. I knew he would see it. I didn't know that he would bring it to everybody's attention, but that was pretty cool. The other thing about Graveyard, man, and this is classic Mexican crap. They played, and I talk about this in the merch video that will be up tomorrow. The Graveyard and Danko Jones bootleg merch video tour, which is quite brief. There were only 4 stands. Graveyard played for what's a proper headlining band? How long should they play? What's an acceptable length for a headlining band to play that has been around for as long as Graveyard? They've been around for, I guess, close to 20 years now. They've got 6 albums. They came all the way from Sweden. They're doing 6 shows. First one was in Mexico City. They're going to Argentina for 1 show, Chile 1 show, and 3 shows in Brazil. And it was their first time here since 2019 and only their second time here. All right, Dallas, 70 minutes minimum, 2 hours, an hour and 30. They played 58 minutes. For me, even 70 would be short, but they played 58 minutes. That really, really turned me off, man. And also, I mean, for me, it's an expensive ticket. That ticket was very expensive. It's like close to about $50 US for a kind of a club show. Yeah, Henry is saying 90 minutes. And, for me, well, for everybody, an expensive ticket. Plus for me, I took the day off work. Well, I worked 5 hours. I worked from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 5 a.m. to, I worked 3-4 hours that day. Woke up at 4:40 a.m. so I could try to at least work a couple of hours to make some money before I went there. took the bus there, spent the night in a hotel, missed work the next morning. Always my busiest day when I make the most money, Sunday. And they play 58 minutes. That really. So I mean, when I was watching, I thought, oh man, they're what a great band, because I've seen them before. I saw them when they played here in 2019. They play really, really great. They're a great live band. But yeah, 58 minutes is bullshit. And so I was thinking, fuck them. I like that. They've lost me. I don't want to see them again for 58 minutes. And then there was some stuff on social media that people were complaining, the next day to the promoter. I think some people said, I feel ripped off. Why was it so short? And the promoter was saying, yeah, there were horrible, classic Mexico, horrible technical problems, which delayed the start of the show. Everything gets delayed in Mexico. Danko Jones was delayed. And then I think after every song the Graveyard played, they had to stop and fix, always with the hi-hat. The hi-hat kept falling apart. One of the cymbals they had to replace after every song. Just really, really, at some point, there was no sound whatsoever. None of the mics were working. So they were always fixing something. And so people complained about that, about it being so short. And the promoter said, yeah, there was some miscommunication between the band and the venue, or between the band and the promoter, something like that, about how long they were going to play. I thought that's bullshit. How can there be miscommunication about that? And then Graveyard posted something yesterday or today, maybe, addressing it. They say, yeah, we apologize that we cut our set. And they had, because I saw the set list and there were songs on there that they didn't play. And and they said, yeah, we apologize for the short set last night. We had more songs to play for you, but there was some miscommunication about how long we were supposed to play. So they walked off the stage, and then we're going to come back for the encore. And I guess the promoter said, yeah, that's it. You're finished. I have no idea why. So I guess according to them, it's not Graveyard's fault. It's the promoter, which is very, very easy to believe. But such bullshit that they ended exactly midnight. It was like 11:59 or something. So I thought like it was a curfew thing, maybe, that if if they go over midnight, if they get charged extra or something. But yeah, man, 50, and Danko Jones also played an hour, but he's the opener. But 58 minutes for a headliner is unforgivable. That really, really soured me. For what they played, it was great, but because they play really well. The sound for Danko Jones was one of the best I've ever heard. Maybe because there are 3-piece. They've just got one guitar, drums, and bass, so it's a little bit clearer. Graveyard has 2 guitars, and they also were much louder. Anyway, so that was it. That was my Graveyard, Danko Jones. So getting back to this about Chris says, thoughts on Ozzy's last show. I don't know. I don't care, man. Like, when it was first announced, I saw it minutes after it was announced, and I immediately texted a good friend of mine who's is much more knowledgeable about music to me than me, and he's been to far more concerts. He's bought far more albums. And he said, and this guy he's a very, very smart guy. He said, there's no way that's going to happen. There's no way it's going to get canceled because Ozzy's not going to be able to make it. And then I said, no, I think this time there's no way. Metallica's going to be there. Guns N' Roses, I think, was not announced at that time on the first day. I think they were announced a few days later. But I said, man, they're not going to get, Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, Mastodon, Alice in Chains, and then canceled. There's no way. And he said, if they don't cancel it, either Ozzy's not going to play or he's going to be terrible. And then it was a couple days later when Ozzy said, I'm just going to do bits and pieces. And I started thinking, yeah, here we go. Here comes the bullshit. And I understand it because Ozzy he's not in the best shape. I don't think Ozzy has much longer. And and now I just see Dallas said that maybe Ozzy is going to be singing from the studio. Yeah, and I've talked about this before. I hate festivals, and I just can't imagine they have all these bands playing, and what are they going to do? 2 or 3 songs each, and there's going to be some jams that are probably going to be sloppy, and there's going to be 14 people on the stage playing Paranoid. I understand the significance of it, and also Bill Ward is kind of a question mark too, because he hasn't played live for I don't know how many years. Um, I think it's going to be. I think it has potential to be the Black Sabbath portion, especially, has potential to be very disappointing. And there's some weird Guns N' Roses. Isn't Guns N' Roses out of place there? I mean, Metallica. I can see Metallica's talking about Black Sabbath as an influence for for their entire existence, and they've toured with Ozzy. And I can understand so many other bands being there, but Guns N' Roses just seems out of place. I have no doubt that individually they're fans, but it just seems odd to me. And Billy Corgan seems strange too, although I do know he's a big. I don't know if it's him or I think it's just him. I know he's a big Black Sabbath fan, but he seems he seems out of place. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes for that show. Um, I saw Guns N' Roses in Merida, Yucatan, Mexico, 3 years ago. Power also went out for about, I don't know if it was the power, but something happened. The show was delayed. In the middle of the show, the stage was black for about 20 minutes. I think the power did go out, at least on the stage. Mexico sucks, man. Mexico, there's always crap. I know that can happen anywhere. It happens way more in Mexico, I'm sure. Um, just all the worst stuff happens in Mexico. That's part of the reason why I don't go to nearly as many concerts as I did a couple years ago. I'm just tired of the crap. I used to go to so many local shows and bands like Graveyard or Danko Jones or bands I was not necessarily a big fan of, but I thought, okay, I like this band and they're kind of new and I've never seen them before and this is their first time in Mexico, so I'll go. Like when I saw Graveyard the first time and Monolord and Radio Moscow, I've seen them 3 times, and Earthless. All those bands now, I wouldn't see them now. Just too much crap. The shows get cut short. They start late. That doors are going to open at. They say doors open at 7. Show starts at 8, and the doors open at 7:55, and the first band goes on at 8:40 or something. You end up missing the last train. No, the concerts in Mexico, especially not the big ones, not Guns N' Roses or Metallica or but these kind of mid range guys. These shows are terribly disorganized and too many problems. Um, but we're back to Y&T. Yeah, Y&T seems like the real deal. I've talked about this before. I feel like I want to get more into Y&T. 2 hours is great. I love long concerts. I don't know how anybody can complain about a concert being too long. It just doesn't make sense. Um, that was what, 98. That one? Oh, that was with Pantera? No, Pantera was 98 or 99. Um, Live and Loud. Was that the one that had the speaker grate that metal speaker cover on the packaging? It was that one, right? Yeah, Ozzy is one of the ones who supposedly retired. Remember he called it the No More Tears tour was he called it No More Tours? Yeah. No, it was much more than 400. Wasn't okay, Chris says yes. Wasn't the cheapest ticket like 650 or 800? I'm sure it was more than 400. Although even 400 is ridiculous. And I just don't like festivals. Don't like all these bands. Um, oh, interesting. Photosol favorite place on the planet to see a show. Yeah, I knew you'd been there when I said earlier. Have you been to Mexico? And you said first time in Puerto Vallarta. I remember that you had been here for Maiden, especially recently. Um, Really, I like the vibe at Photosol. Photosol as a venue sucks, although it is much better since they've put that overhang over. It is much better. Yeah, cool vibe, but no matter where you are at Photosol, you're really far from everything. But yeah, Photosol has its good points too. Great crowds usually because there's 55,000 people there. Um, Europa, the last battle. I am agree. Hold on. What do? Oh, here. Not able to do. I knew he wouldn't be doing a full set as soon as it was announced. I knew he wouldn't be doing a full set. And speaking of short shows, Ozzy and both Ozzy and Black Sabbath always played short. I remember the first time I saw Ozzy on the Bark of the Moon tour, he played like 12 or 13 songs. I remember his longest show ever was in Toronto, and I don't know why. That one night, the night before Toronto, they played like 13, 14 songs. The night after Toronto, they played 13 or 14. But that night in Toronto, it was in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, around there. They played like 24 songs or 22, 23. I don't know why they played a great, great set list. But yeah, Black Sabbath and Ozzy have always played pretty short sets. I never had any expectations for him to do a full set. But to do it from the studio, some people would say, well, it's better than nothing, or I kind of disagree. I would rather, you don't need closure. They don't need to do a last concert. It's not necessary. A lot of hype there. Ozzy, oh, no more tour. Corn and no, that couldn't have been. That's right. No More Tears was 91, and then No More Tours was years later. Okay, yeah, because Corn's first album came out in 95 or 96. All right. Life of Agony. I was never into them. I had that. What was their first record? Blood Runs Red or River Runs Red? But the River Runs Red. I had that album. Never got into it. All right, Chris is out. Thank you for the appearance, Chris. Have a good night. We'll talk later. Thank you. Any thoughts on Europa: The Last Battle? Not one. Not a single one. I can tell you, Europe: The Final Frontier sucks. But Europa: The Last Battle? I don't know. The final, the battle. What did I say? The Final Frontier? The Final Command? Final Countdown. Yeah, Final Countdown. Yeah, one of the. That's like Peter Criss level garbage. Yeah, River Runs Red. Um, Life of Agony. Um, I can't say yes or no, and I'm not saying that I disliked Life of Agony. I bought it, never got into it. So many albums that I bought and never got into. Now I have the Final Countdown stuck in my head. Oh, and by the way, here are my. If anybody saw these in the last episode, here are these. This is another one of my fidget things when I'm sitting here. My lighters from Cambodia. I love them. And isn't there something very satisfying about the click and the feel of a Zippo? I could do that all night. What a familiar sound. What a horrible song. Hey, look who's here. Blue Flyer is here. Hello, Blue Flyer. Another California. Who's here from California? Randy, are you still here? Randers, Mr. Randy, are you there? Kirk Desmond hasn't been around for the last couple, I think. Who else are we missing from California? I think there's several, no? That are often here. Where's Catalina? Is Catalina? Hello? Hello, are you there, Catalina? Um, it's a documentary. I thought it was a music thing. Isn't Europa the band? And the album that you've been telling me about for months is called The Last Battle. Isn't that what it is? Or am I way off? Oh, that's Keith Caputo? Caputo? How do you say his name? Caputo or Caputo? Bruce Kulick or Bruce Kulick? I would say Bruce Kulick, but I've heard somebody recently say Kulick. All right, then in that case, Hassan, I don't know what Europa The Last Battle is. To me, it sounds, and maybe I would think other people too, Europa sounds like it's a band, and their album is called The Last Battle. Oh, now I have even less interest in Europa The Last Battle. Why is it so censored? And what is it a documentary about? And why is it censored? Oh, by the way, I should have shown Mike Pratt my phone case. Isn't that a great phone case? That's an AliExpress. Um, what is bait? Are you still talking about Life of Agony? I'm gonna look for this Europa, The Last Battle. Oh, the documentary is bait. What kind of bait? Tell me. Give me some information here, Dallas. When I search on Wikipedia Europa the Final Battle, I get 2019 UEFA Europa League Final, Europa Universalis video game, CE Europa Football Club. Oh, list of German films of the 2010s. Is that where it would be? The Albanian, Anatomy of Evil. I'll try Google. I think I'm setting myself up for disappointment, or it can't be disappointment. Disappointment. Um, you have to have some expectations. And look at what comes up when I start to type Europa, the final battle. I get Europe, the final countdown. Uh, Neo-Nazi propaganda created by Swedish far-right activists. I've lost all interest. I haven't lost interest because I never had any to begin with. The Last Battle is a 2017 English language Swedish 10-part neo-Nazi propaganda film created by Tobias Bratt, a Swedish far-right activist associated with the Nordic resistance movement, a European neo-Nazi movement. I have no interest in watching anything probably like that. Uh, no, I don't remember that because The Matrix, I think, was in like 1999, and Europa was apparently 2017. So my interest is zero. Yeah, good call. I thought it was a band. He's been propaganding it to me for months. I thought it was a band. Apparently, absolutely not. I will not see it for myself. Yeah, what is that icon? I can't see it. It's too small. Is it it's what is it? Describe it to me. It's a guy. Is he pulling somebody's guts out? And he's got a yarmulke on his head. Is that what that is? A yarmulke? And I'm going to ask a few questions because I'm curious about this. I don't even know who you are, Hassan. Who are you? How do you? Okay, Hassan, tell me. Who are you? How do you know me and know my channel? Um, I'm confused how you came across me because it seems like you're definitely not into the kind of music that I talk about or stuff that I post about. So I'm not sure how you would have come across my channel. The documentary has nothing to do with Nazis. Well, according to the definition or the summary that I just read, well, the director is a Nazi sympathizer. Create the It says it's a neo-Nazi propaganda film. I don't know how you can say it has nothing to do with Nazis. It says everything I read here says it's about neo-Nazis. Okay, here it says it's a controversy. This is going to be the last few seconds that I give to this. And please, somebody feel free to change the topic if anybody wants to chime in. Controversial and infamous documentary whose purpose is to show the events surrounding World War II under another perspective that reinstates the bad guys. Yeah, that's pretty much propaganda, no? That's no. Well, I would like to know who Hassan is. I need to know Hassan, or the number 86 may come into effect. Didn't they just announce something recently that they're touring again or doing a record or something? Somebody save me. I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a new album either. I just remember seeing something about them. Actually, the thing that I might have seen was that Keith Caputo was I don't know how you even say it, transitioning back to a man. What was his name as a woman? Amanda or uh, I can't remember. Maybe that was what I saw in the news a couple of months ago. Bands I despise. Um, hmm. I don't know if there's any I despise. There's some that I just don't really like that I don't care about. Um, I mean, in the rock world, no, I don't know. I can't really answer that. I don't know bands I despise. Albums or songs, yeah, but yeah, I can't really say there's any bands that I despise. Although I think, this band sucks. I've said that many times, but I can't remember who I've said that about. No, worst band on earth, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Strongly, strongly disagree. I don't know why so many people have such strong disdain for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I haven't really been a fan for many years, but um, no, I see nothing wrong with them. Their last couple of albums have been very disappointing, but no, I used to be a pretty big fan, but it's been a long time. Worst band on earth? No, I'll say bands I despise. Motley Crue, at least what they've become, because Shout the Devil, as you may know, Dallas knows, and maybe Jose knows too, and others. Shout the Devil is one of my favorite records ever, and my cat Betsy. Hold on, I gotta get her out of. She's eating the dog food. She's down now. Shout the Devil is for sure one of my favorite records ever. But oh my God, has Motley Crue ever turned out to be a disgraceful band in every way? Rotten. At least for, I mean, for bands that I like or that I should like or liked at some point, nobody's worse than Motley Crue. Yeah, and did you see? I think it was just a couple of days ago. Vince Neil. I guess they were supposed to play a Vegas residency, and they canceled it because Vince has to have some kind of surgery. And the statement they put out was just such a joke. He said something like, "Oh, it's almost like like seriously, it's like you're really saying this?" He said, "I want to be able to give the fans the show they deserve." This guy has sucked for decades. Um, yeah, Motley Crue is a pathetic band. Yeah, Too Fast for Love is great too. Shout is incredible, but oh my God, Saints of Los Angeles is just complete garbage. Um, their live shows are horrible. Vince Neil, yeah, probably collectively they're the worst band. Everything about Motley Crue sucks. Yeah, Theater Pain. I go back and forth with Theater Pain. I'm not sure what to think. I know that album as well as I know any album. I know it as well as Shout the Devil. I know every little lyric, every nuance about that record. Um, so it's hard to say I hate it, but I don't know what to think of that record. I feel like, oh, I love that record. And I think no, I don't really care about it. Don't know. Um, no, but he doesn't remember the lyrics. That's the thing. And that's, I guess, one of the things that he's known for is not knowing the lyrics. He just mumbles. There's several problems with Vince Neil. One, his actual voice sucks. He can't sing for shit. His voice sucks. Two, he's fucking lazy. He doesn't make any effort. He just kind of mumbles the lyrics, sings half of them, just kind of, scats his way through them. And 3, and this is important especially for that style of music, he looks terrible. His looks totally suit his quality. He sounds the way he looks. They go together. Yeah. Yeah. Everything about Motley Crue sucks. I talked about that with my friend that I ran into at El Chopo the other day. I showed him in the video, Mauricio. We talked about that. He's a huge Motley Crue fan, but he said the same thing. They suck now, and they've sucked for quite some time. Yeah, and getting back to this, they also they're using a lot of tracks too. Playing to tracks. Everybody maybe saw that video from 2 years ago or something when they were touring with Def Leppard, and the drum intro started, and Tommy Lee wasn't even sitting at the drums. Something very fishy about that. The backing vocals are probably 100% piped in. Yeah. Motley Crue, easy. Terrible band. Oh. Let me just check something. Continue. I'm just checking something here. Yes, that's exactly right. He doesn't care. To be clear, and I think I've talked about this before, I don't care if Vince Neil is fat or how he looks. Don't care. But his appearance is clearly affecting his ability, and he's just very, very lazy. He doesn't care about how he looks. Doesn't care about his performance. Doesn't care about anything. So why should I care? And I care. There are people that every band has their idiotic supporters who will defend what they do, no matter what. Kind of like Donald Trump and his supporters, or that will always, oh, Motley Crue is the best. Oh, I saw them last night. That was the best concert I've ever seen. They sound better than ever. Every band has that, but man, if you said that about Motley Crue, I can't take your opinion seriously. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It's very, very synthetic, very artificial. Their show. Yeah, and even at US Festival, they were pretty bad, but at least they were young then, and they were pretty good. I think at some point in 85, 86, 87, maybe through Dr. Feelgood, I think they were good. But yeah, it's been years since they've sounded good. Yeah, Stephen Pierce had some problems more than 5 years ago. I think he sounded better 5 years ago than now, but going back farther than that, when he was all fucked up, because he had back problems. I think he was on drugs, like prescription drugs, and drinking too. I think. Yeah, he was really bad 7, 8, 9 years ago. Yeah, he's still not bad. Piercy is not bad. At least Piercy is in good shape. And he was. I think Piercy was maybe never the best. He's not like an energetic guy. He's not like a. But yeah, Stephen Piercy is way better in every way than Vince Neil. I mentioned earlier that Piercy is playing at Casino Niagara or Fallsview Casino in Niagara Falls, very close to where I lived in Canada, and that's with Vince Neil. It's Stephen Piercy and Vince Neil playing together. Not together. They're on the bill together. Yeah, well, that's what he's doing now. He's taking Motley Crue is canceling or postponing their Vegas residency for. I think he didn't say what kind of surgery he was having. I think that's what it was, surgery, some kind of health problems. But yeah, Vince Neil is a disgrace. He doesn't deserve anything good to be said about him. The Bowery show from last year. That was the New York show, right? That they did kind of like a surprise club show or something like that. I think they also played at the House of Vans or yeah, House of Vans, I think, in London. They're playing a few shows. Stephen Pearson and Warren DeMartino are playing. I think it's weird now that they announced that Stephen Pearson and Warren DeMartino playing shows together, but Stephen Pearson's current band that he's had for a few years now, they're still playing shows, which I think is kind of weird. Like to think you're going to see Stephen Pearson now when you know he's going to be playing with Warren DeMartini pretty soon. Ha, yeah, maybe I don't know what the timeline of that residency was or when the show in Niagara Falls was. Hello, Marcos. Favorite horror movies? Not into horror movies. I not that much. I mean, there are some that I like, but I'm very very far from being like a horror guy. For sure, without a doubt, and I guess it's a pretty cliched answer. It's like saying your favorite album is the Black Album or something. My favorite horror movie is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Love that movie. And I like the old ones, the classics, Halloween and Friday the 13th, and some of the sequels, at least the early sequels anyway. Um, Although I haven't seen those in decades, I don't know if I would like them as much now. The original, the first three, I guess, Nightmare on Elm Street movies were great. Again, don't know if I'd like them now. Um, the Rob Zombie movies were pretty good. I saw those, what, about 20 years ago? House of 1,000 Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Those were actually pretty good. I like those. The Exorcist. I saw that when I was like 10, 12 years old. Haven't seen it since then. I know it's the metal thing to be the big horror fan. Like Phil Anselmo's a big horror fan, and who else? Who else is one of the rock? Rob Zombie, of course. But no, just not for me. 50th anniversary of Jaws is coming this year, and they're bringing Jaws back to the theater. I know it's not a horror, at least not a traditional horror, but I know that's if that plays here, I will definitely go see Jaws. Hello, Luis. Thank you. Greetings. And well, the trip is over. My trip ended. I got back home like a week and a half ago. I was there. My trip was 17 days. I got back on February 27th. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Which is almost um that's kind of like a mix of I mean his Piercy's current band is Piercy and it's been for years. Blas Elias from Slaughter. Um Matt Thorne, I think he's in that band. And who else? But yeah, this this new with Piercy, DiMartini, and Carlos Cavazo. That's the Infestation lineup minus Blotzer and Robbie Crane. And Infestation is amazing album. I'd love to see that tour for sure, or tour whatever shows whatever. Um, yes, back home in my house now. Trip is over. Um, yeah, I guess it is. The guitarists are different. Yeah, Warren and Matt Thorne is in Piercy's solo band, right? So yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it's just the guitarists are different. They're swapping out the two, and I don't even know their names. I know one of them. I can't remember what it is. For Carlos Cavazo and Warren DeMartini. Yes, I'm in Cuernavaca right now, the land of sunshine and guayabas. Johnny Monaco, that's who it is. Johnny Monaco played in Enough's Enough, right? Eric Ferrantino, I think I knew the name, never would have remembered it, but Johnny Monaco is the one I was thinking of. Am I right? Enough's Enough? Yeah, yeah. Jose says yes. Enough's enough. Luis, any concerts in the? Yes. Where do you live, Luis? Are you in Ciudad de Mexico? Dallas says Johnny Monaco nails the parts. Well, anyway, for Luis asking about concerts, I'm going to see. I don't know if you know this band from Switzerland called Dirty Sound Magnet. I'm going to see them on. You're in the States. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to see Dirty Sound Magnet in Mexico City on May 3rd. And then I'm sure I will go the next night to see Judas Priest. And then Corrosive Conformity in September. Um, that's it. As far not as many. I was just talking about that before you came, Luis. That I don't go to as many concerts now as I did even a couple years ago. Just sick of all the crap. Starting late, ending early, technical problems. Um, I don't know, different problems with either the venue or whatever. But yeah, I feel in some ways that concerts are beginning to waste my time and money. Painful to say that, but true. If I'm spending my money, I expect to be. I mean, I'm not a high maintenance person, but man, at least don't make me have a shitty time. Don't make me stand and wait for a long time, and don't cut a show short. I'm still calling out Catalina Gomez and hoping she comes back. That was a hit and run. She had one message and then she was gone or stopped messaging anyway. Agnostic Front and Green Jelly. What they're touring together, I guess. I think I did. I ever. I don't think I ever bought an Agnostic Front record. I did buy. What was the big green jelly? The one with three little pigs. I bought that one. Um, never get into it. Along with Life of Agony, going back to that. Um, have I talked to Borgio at all? No, not a word, not any form of communication. We are dead to each other since August 3rd. It's like we don't exist in each other's worlds, sadly. And Luis says different dates. Agnostic Friend and Green Jelly, not together. Can't believe Green Jelly is still around. They seem like I mean at the time anyway, and even in retrospect, Green Jelly seemed like a total gimmick band, like Guar. They were kind of like Guar, right? I mean, not musically maybe, but in terms of that kind of gimmick, I'm surprised that they're still around. And what was the story about green jelly in Canada? Hold on, let me try to remember. Something happened with green jelly in Canada a couple of years ago. Oh, what happened? There's some controversy. Somebody from green jelly got in trouble with the law. What was that? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Not important, but I remember hearing about green jelly in the news a couple of years ago. Something controversial about them. I can't tell you. Luis is asking, tell us the story. I can't tell it because I can't remember what it is. And I don't even know if I can Google it because I don't even remember. Did they get scammed or they scammed somebody and then they met up with the person? Ah, let me check. Uh, no, I Googled green jelly Canada. Wow, their record went gold in the US in 1993. That's unbelievable. No, I Googled green jelly Canada controversy and still nothing. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Okay. It was in 2019, so longer ago than I thought. Here's what happened. Yeah, I remember this now. So there's the headline. I know it's backwards. Well, I'll read it. The promoter didn't pay, so the band tracked him down right to his house. That's what it was. Um, yeah, it was in London, Ontario, which is not far from where I'm from or where I lived. So they played in London, Ontario on November 7th, 2019. And it says when it appeared that the promoter was not going to pay them, the band went to collect to his house. They went to his house. Um, it says they got half their money, and they have a handshake deal with the promoter to return to play a proper show, and they will be paid in advance. Um, anyway, that's all it is. Yeah, so they played a show in London, Ontario, didn't get paid, and they went to the promoter's house. That's what it was. I thought that they did something wrong, but it was that they were wronged. All right. What else? Maybe I'll do an episode one day going through my the contents of my Kiss lunch pail. Is there any interest in that? It's full of uh, crap. Maybe some people would like to see it. Maybe I should wait a couple of years till it gets even more crap. Who's here? Catalina? Yeah, read the full story on. I think the original story was on metal injection. So read that. And remember, they used to be called Green Jello, and then they had to change the name because of the surprise they ever had that name in the first place. But they had to change the name because of trademark, copyright, something with the Jello brand gelatin. Who does anybody here? I don't know who's here now. Maybe I should do a roll call. Who's here? Luis, Rat Rock, Dallas, Jose. Who else? Does anybody know Cadavar, the band? Kadavar. I've done several episodes talking about them. Anybody know them? Yeah, but you'd think Jello would be pretty obvious, no? All right, Jose has never heard of Cadaver. Well, they're easily my favorite band of the last, I don't know, 15, no, not that long. How long? 13, 12 years. And their new song, they have a new album coming out, I think, in May called I Just Want to Be a Sound. And the first single from it was the title track, I Just Want to Be a Sound. And it's incredibly, incredibly different sound and style for them. So I was just wondering what anybody thought of them. If you've never heard them and you hear that song, you maybe it wouldn't even get your attention. But if you know Cadaver, because they were pretty, I mean, they were not a heavy, heavy, heavy band, but they were, man, they were a metal band for sure, or classic rock, something like that. But their new song is much more modern sounding, almost pop, a little bit of techno, electronic, something like that. I love it though. I love it. I just wanted to know what anybody else thought of it. Blackberry Smoke. I never got into them. Oh, yeah. And by the way, do you know how much that it cost to go see that Kiss Museum? Anybody know the price? How much do you think it would cost to go see the Kiss Museum? Because I know exactly how much it is because I checked it today. Anybody? Any guesses? It's more than $1. Jose got it right. I don't know if he knows that or if he made a good guess. Yes, it's $500 to go to the Kiss Museum. Yep. John 5 maybe learned that from Nikki 6. Or maybe from Gene Simmons. Okay, it was a guess. Well, you guessed exactly right. It is $500. Now, to be fair, although it's still ridiculous, it's a guided tour by John 5. And it's all his personal stuff. This guy has spent tens of thousands or maybe more on Kiss stuff. He has Gene Simmons' 1974 original costume. But yeah, so if you want to go see his, they say it's a Kiss museum. It's really just John 5's, so, I mean, I could turn my apartment into Kiss Museum. But yeah, $500 if you want to go on a tour with John 5. I think something I didn't like about Blackberry Smoke, I hate that name. We don't need any more names, any bands with black in the name. It's enough. Yeah, his collection, yeah, it is great, of course, but yeah, $500. But man, a lot of Kiss fans, Kiss nerds, these people are paying thousands and thousands of dollars for the Kiss cruise. They paid $5,000 for Gene Simmons box set. They pay 1,000. I don't know how much the Kiss meet and greets were. Yeah, these Kiss fans, they have a lot of money. I don't, but they do, a lot of them. Like I guess $500 to go see that, and John 5 is giving you the tour, although I don't really care about him personally. Although he does seem like a nice guy. I think that's better than paying, people pay $500 or more, maybe a lot more for these meet and greets at concerts. where you get a picture with them. Ah, that's another thing. Yeah, Gene Simmons roadie for a day for. I wondered why it was 12,500. Why not just 12,000, or why not 13, 14,000? I thought the 500 part was peculiar, um, and people will pay that. Yeah, it's funny because Gene just a few months ago said, and he thinks he's the first one to do this. That he's got this great thing with his solo band that all he does is he travels with his pick, and that's it. He goes there. The back line is all there. They don't need trucks. It's just he travels everywhere, with just his picks, and that's it. But you can pay him 12,500 to be his roadie. I don't know what he needs a roadie for because he's been bragging that he just travels with a pick in his pocket. And I guess his bass. And I saw Gene Simmons' solo show in 2017. It was one of the most fun shows I've ever been to. But getting back to short concerts, I think it was 65 minutes, way too short. But for what it was very, very fun. I was in such a great spirits at that concert. What else? Anybody? Anything? Should we shut it down if everybody has said what they want to say? Um, Favorite Kiss record? If we're talking about studio records, not including a live, I've more than anything I've said Love Gun. But it could also be Gene's. I consider a Kiss album. Gene's 1978 solo album, which to me it's a Kiss album. It says Kiss on it. He's wearing a Kiss makeup. All four of them did albums. To me, it's a Kiss record. That could also be a favorite. All right, Bronco, Rad Rock is leaving. Thank you, Bronco. Oh, Dallas is out too. All right, we'll shut this down soon. Thank you guys for coming. Always, you're always there. Yeah, so I'd say Love Gun or Gene Simmons. Um, and then later, Lick It Up for sure. Lick It Up is my favorite I don't like to think of it as makeup or non-makeup, but original lineup or okay, yeah, Bronco, yeah, send me a message. Dan Bowski, Mexico on Instagram. Um, yeah, Lick It Up for sure is my favorite. See ya, Bronco. I love Lick It Up. Awesome album. And are you a Kiss fan, Jose? And if so, which ones do you like? Creatures of the Night in Asylum. Yeah, I don't like Creatures of the Night nearly as much as most people do. I do like it, but I guess that would be overrated. I like Asylum more than Creatures of the Night. That's, I think, a pretty unpopular opinion, but I like it more. Am I going to go to the museum? No. It's $500 and it's in Los Angeles. So no and no. That would cost me thousands of dollars. No way. And I did see. I went to the Kiss convention, the official Kiss convention in Toronto in 1996, and they had some of that cool stuff back then. Some of their old costumes and original paintings of album covers. It was pretty cool. But I would go if there were some Kiss exhibition in Mexico City, and it was a fair price. I would go, but no, $500. I don't know. There's not too many things in the world I would pay $500 for. I wouldn't pay $500 for any concert. All right, Jose is out. Yeah, I'll call it a night too. It seems that we're winding down. Everybody's leaving now. All right, thank you, Jose and Luis. And then I don't know. There's three people here. I don't know who's the third one. Any is Randy? Who's still there? Luis, Jose, and who's number three? I don't know. I've lost track. Rat Rock just left. Dallas just left. All right. Yeah, let's call it a night. Thank you, Jose and Luis and everybody who came. That's all. I'll do this again. I don't know when. Maybe in the summer sometime. Thank you for questions and comments. Yeah, Hassan. I kind of forgot about him. I didn't. Yeah, he stopped talking. I didn't ban him or block him or do anything. He just stopped. Maybe he saw that he wasn't getting anywhere with his propaganda and gave up, or maybe he stuck around. I don't know who the third person is. All right, but thank you for coming and for watching whatever videos you watch. I do appreciate it. It's cool, and thank you. And I'll see you guys again in a few months in one of these live streams. All right, see ya.